Right now, you're hearing a keyboard that no one has played before. And this is, of course, because it doesn't exist. This is the latest in an ongoing series of imaginary instruments, and this one has a real attitude problem. If you're new to this channel or this series, I've been building virtual instruments by playing real ones very strangely. Techniques that are impossible to play musically in real time, but made playable by the process of sampling. This experimentation results in unrecognizable sounds that encourage the imagination to fill in the blank with an instrument that might be responsible. For example, this was the sound of the previous imaginary instrument. To my ears, this sounds like a bizarre, ancient wind instrument. But in reality, and spoilers if you care, what you're actually hearing is a handsaw. Now, I have a whole behind-the-scenes video on that one too, which I'll link below, but this video is dedicated to a peek behind the curtain of imaginary instrument number 3, Voltglas. Voltglas, as it's intended to be imagined, is an electric keyboard instrument, and by pushing down on copper-plated rods, you strike suspended ceramic chimes. In the full walkthrough video, which you should definitely check out if you're interested in how the actual library behaves and sounds, I demonstrated the way these chimes work with a little suspended terracotta pot. And this kind of works, but it can more accurately be thought of as a row of wind chimes, or maybe like a marimba, but tilted vertically. And so when this ceramic chime is struck, it vibrates, of course, and then that vibrates a metal tine that it's attached to, which is right over an electromagnetic pickup. The keys are big and chunky, and you can hear that heaviness in the sound, but the fact that they're metallic plays a big role. Like any touch-sensitive surface, the metal and your fingertips interact with each other, and this completes a circuit. This is a lot like the function of that little handheld synthesizer, the stylophone. The way that I imagined this for Voltglas is that it's really unstable. We hear this often when people complain about old outboard gear. Although this is the third imaginary instrument in the series, this was the first one that I ever made. So its story is very much the story of how this concept came to be. I was remodeling the firebox in the fireplace. Very exciting already, I know. Cleaning out some of this kind of crumbling old thermal insulation when I remembered how old this house was and how ubiquitous the use of asbestos was, especially in thermal insulation. Now, I'll spare you the rest of the details because it really is irrelevant, but it was a false alarm. Point being that in the meantime, while I waited for this asbestos testing to come back, I tried to blow off some steam. I really debated even bringing up this asbestos story because I recognize that this tells you nothing about the actual behind the scenes of how I sampled this thing. But so much of the attitude of Voltglas came from the frustration and the fear of the situation. And so the first thing I did with that kind of pent-up anxiety was start to make really loud noises. Violent, angry, and carcinogenic in their own way. And I say this not just to give that extra context, which I think is interesting and important, but as an encouragement to people who enjoy making things as just some form of self-expression, that you always should, and you should always just be engaged with it. You might just end up getting a snapshot of a story that you didn't know you were telling. Now, here's the thing about diming a guitar amplifier. Anything you do can and will be used against you. Leaving the strings undampened, standing too close to the amp, or God forbid, bumping the guitar. Now, the sensible thing to do is to be really careful when you're playing at volumes that are that high. But you could also lay the guitar on the floor, beat the daylight out of it, and record the terrible things that come next. The main articulation, which I just refer to as standard, is the sound of the guitar on the ground, full volume, capo on just the note that I want to play, something dampening the rest of the strings, and then striking the body of the guitar. I tried a bunch of different objects, but these rubber mallets did the trick. You might think that this next articulation here, magnet bowing, has something to do with an E-bow, but I'm pleased to report that not a single E-bow was harmed in the making of this sample library. Instead, I dragged various objects across and along the body of the guitar, anything that would cause some friction with the glossy finish, kind of like sneakers on a basketball court. It was almost like an attempt to try to play this semi-hollow, full-volume, hyper-reactive thing like the body itself was the string. It was barely controllable and completely bizarre. The overvolted articulation was done pretty similarly. No smooth, dragged strokes here, though. I used various electronic devices to shake and rattle the body of the guitar. And finally, tine scrapes. This was achieved by, again, capoing the note that I wanted to play, dampening the rest, and then bowing the edge of that metal capo with a drumstick. I remember sitting there, cross-legged on the ground, holding a drumstick like a moron, thinking, this is not a guitar. And I was right. The additional mic signals here are not so mysterious. They're pretty genuine in their claims. The ruined signal is an Ampex 600 tube pre attached to an old reel-to-reel machine. And the spring signal is a spring reverb tank that I stripped off of a busted guitar amp. The Ampex preamp, I'm looking at it here, I keep it on my desk, is pretty badly misbehaved, very much in keeping with the way I imagine Voltglas to be. And as for the spring reverb tank, I kind of don't know exactly what went wrong/right. I'm pretty sure I just pushed it way too hard because this is just another bit of bad behavior in an already very rude sample library. For everybody who's already grabbed a copy of Voltglas, I cannot thank you enough. And for those of you on the email list who have put in your guesses about which instrument was really behind Voltglas all along, you'll receive emails with your free copy or discounts if you got it right. And I'll be sure to put the names of any winners in a pinned comment below. The last two instruments were extremely tricky, but I trust that at least a few of you have sniffed out this one already. And if you want to get in on this for future imaginary instruments, be sure to sign up for the email list when you head over to the website. Thanks for watching, take care of yourself, and I'll see you next time.